While you might think of Tic-Tac-Toe as a bit of a meme pick in a build like this, he actually does make a good bit of sense today. Tactical Lich going all Vanguard Lizardmen into the Dark Elves, so, of course, Tic-Tac-Toe having Vanguard and being a reasonably decent flying combatant can help support here against a potential big, dangerous flying dragon Malekith. The rest of the build here, we've got 5 Chameleons in Vanguard, some Ripperdactyls spread around, Bloom's Terror, the regiment-renowned feral carnosaur, also with Vanguard, of course, in the corner there. And we've also got the Popopox cohort, also Vanguarded up. Lore of Heaven's caster, not Vanguarded, technically, but still has the ability to fly in very quickly. And a couple more Rippers over here. For the Dark Elves being rushed, he's got a couple of Bolt Throwers, some Dread Spears, Dark Shards, Regiment-renowned Hydra, got Ravagers of Rakarth, and then Malekith up in the air. Right off the bat, the Chameleons are going to get into range to fire and just try and take out the Bolt Thrower crews. In general, this is a matchup right now I feel is often dictated by the Dark Elves missile units, and so for the Lizardmen to just decisively seize the initiative, right away mass Vanguard in, and, immediately start sniping out some of these missile units, maybe force a mistake here as Malekith, Ravagers of Rakarth come forward. Interesting to take the Regiment of Renown Scourge Runner Chariot. I don't know if they give you a lot of extra benefit besides the poison. That's not super impactful to have them. Malekith also drops one of those Chameleons right off the bat, but we take a look at a kind of wider view here. Unfortunately, they weren't quite able to finish off that Reaper Bolt Thrower, but a lot of these high-value targets are going to be able to get into range without having taken much damage, like these Rippers dropping down as the Dark Shards kind of pull away from supporting units. They also get a little bit of an attack on Malekith. I'm not sure. It looks like Malekith doesn't actually have a direct attack order on them. Nope. Not sure exactly what he's up to at the moment, but it's just going to be flying away, leaving those poor Dark Shards to their fate. Dark Elves have shut down a couple of those Chameleons. Looks like one of them did come back from that terror route from Big Malekith, though. And, Tic-Tac-Toe just kind of lurking in the distance. Bloom's Terror and the Popopox cohort here collapse on the Chill of Sontar, and are able to burst it down very quickly. Great kind of supporting play there. And the Dark Elf infantry just a little bit slow to react. I mean, it's understandable. Getting caught in a situation like this, I mean, we're barely 2 minutes into the match, and already a number of decisive engagements have played out, and things are rapidly progressing. Nice little wind blast there. Tic-Tac-Toe's got to be careful not to take a straight 1v1 against Malekith, but especially in a situation like this, stand your ground active. He's got plenty of support from these Ripperdactyls. He can definitely stand in here and get some hits on Malekith. We take a look, Malekith's attack animations are largely not even necessarily targeted at Tic-Tac-Toe directly. I think there he probably just took a hit directly from Malekith, but of course Tic-Tac-Toe much faster up in the air. Actually, no, same speed. I, for whatever reason, thought he was faster, but could be able to get back up in the air and at least screen with those Rippers and whatnot, get these Chameleons back in contributing. Looks like the Ripper squad going to go try and tear apart those Ravagers of Rakarth, meanwhile the Bloom's Terror Popopox cohort still trying to finish off the Chill of Sontar. I've ended up taking a little bit of missile damage in the meantime. Nice Soul Sealer as well for Malekith. He's going to come in, probably rout those Cold One Spear Riders, but still, Bloom's Terror hanging in the meantime. Can kind of countercharge back in here, perhaps. Smart of the Chameleons also to just switch to melee mode and fight the Dark Shards. They actually have enough combat stats to contest against the Dark Shards. Even with Murderous Prowess, I guess they didn't get it because they just routed there. But anyway, the other Chameleons bailed out. These other Rippers and Tic-Tac-Toe can get back to work trying to finish off whatever high-value targets they can get their claws on even. Bloom's Terror here gets charged by Malekith, is going to turn and fight. And if the Rippers and Tic-Tac-Toe can get over here to help support this, could be pretty decisive, or alternately, Bloom's Terror could also just lead the Malekith on a little bit of a goose chase here as the rest of the Lizardmen army collapses and finishes off what's left of Dark Elves' support here. Bleak Swords getting just ripped apart by the Dactyls. And it looks like Tic-Tac-Toe and the Rippers are eventually going to go out and support Bloom's Terror. Has been able to hold out, thankfully, for some time. Hasn't taken too many big attacks. Of course, 50 melee defense, pretty solid for a monster like this. Not incredible, but definitely good enough to be able to resist Malekith. The 58 attack, so he's got a decent chance to hit, but nothing too crazy. 2v1 with the Hill of Sontar's not going to be great, but with that Soul Stealer, it looks like Tic-Tac-Toe and the Rippers just kind of hung back there, not wanting to necessarily dive in and give that extra blob value. Unfortunately, that does mean that Gelbloom's Terror is taking a lot of damage, but he might be able to hold on to his leadership. That ROR status giving the extra leadership super critical at this late stage. Over here, the Chameleons are trying their best to clean up what's left of the Corsairs, Bleak Swords, and stuff, but obviously the Corsairs are going to pose a significant threat in melee. Let's come back over here, though, and watch as Tic-Tac and his Ripper Dax smack that back of the dragon. Yeah, and again, Malekith now focusing his attacks on Tic-Tac-Toe, but for a lot of this he has not been, and as a result it's benefiting greatly the Lizardmen. Even the Skink Priest comes in here, gets a little bit of extra attack. Looks like the Chill of Sontar was able to get a full healing proc and come back to contribute once more. The rest of the battlefield, though, has pretty much been dominated by the Lizardmen. I mean, these Rippers can come in, finish off that one Corsair remaining, and these Chameleons should be able to screen out what's left of, like, the spears and stuff. Malekith gets routed by the swarm of angry flying lizards. That's going to be the end for the Dark Elves. So, love to see this meme build succeeding. Tactical Lich, I believe, also has a YouTube channel, if I'm not mistaken. Try to remember, link it down in the description below if I can. But regardless, very fun build and a fun battle. And interesting, it actually works reasonably decent. I think against a traditional, like, 4 Scourge Runner Chariot build, it'll be a little bit tougher to execute. But you probably still could, as long as you're able to catch the Scourge Runners with your Rippers, and while not taking too much damage, thereby saving the Chameleons, who can then kill almost everything else. Fairly solid. Gelbloom's Terror does manage to get some pretty good value, even though it's kind of left in a bad situation. Still traded okay against Malekith. And of course, Tic-Tac-Toe, super cheap. Probably ends up paying for himself, or pretty close to it, I would imagine, with that kit. Popopox Cohort, same thing. And then the Rippers, man, they all performed quite decent, must be said. The Dark Elf side here, Chill of Sontar had a hard time, but still ended up paying for it, almost paying for itself, I should say. Yeah, Ravagers of Rakarth, I'm not really sure about this. I think you just split this value up, maybe take multiple Scourge Runner Chariots, cut all these Dark Shards, and just go with like 3 to 4 Scourge Runners. Yeah, probably going to be a better option, honestly. But it's still pretty solid. I mean, Dark Shards are alright. They just, as they showed here, they can get caught and killed, especially by Skink Infantry. They're fast Lizardman units. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this, though. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.